Hey, this is Jose with Freedom Mentoring, and in this video, I'm going to teach you this one counterintuitive approach that will help you step into your creative genius and your true power. Before we jump into the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to stay up to date with everything new. And if anything resonates here, share this with someone and tell them to subscribe to the channel too. So let's just jump right into this. Now, in order to understand this concept, first off, you got to know that it is counterintuitive, and number two, that most people won't ever actually be able to do it. And here's why. We are conditioned especially in American and Westernized societies, we are conditioned to fit in. Well, actually, humans are biologically ingrained and programmed to want to fit in. Think about like the caveman brain, especially for men. The caveman brain is programmed for you to want to fit in. And rising above and becoming a leader and becoming a person of status actually exposed you to a lot more risk, right? Think about like alpha male, beta male dynamics of like the caveman brain. The alpha male, although he is the leader, although he enjoys the most wealth, the most sexual options, he enjoys the most of fame or whatever you want to call it, right? He enjoys the fruits of being at the highest levels of that little cave, little tribe society, okay? Now, and keep in mind that like humans are adapted to fit into tribes of 150 people. This is biologically, psychologically proven. Now, the beta male, the reason being a beta male is desired is because the chance of you dying and risking your life to violence or anything like that from other beta males who are trying to overtake your position is way lower, right? See, what happens is when you're the alpha male and you rise above, you start getting a lot of attention. And so you are exposing yourself to more risk and the risk of violence and the threat of death, essentially, okay? So this is why we are biologically programmed to not want that, okay? However, we live in modern society, right? There isn't the potential or the danger, most of the time at least, there isn't this potential danger of someone just going to kill you just because you have higher status than them, right? We live in a modernized society where there's police and there's a lot of safety for the vast majority of people. Now, there are random crimes that happen, but you're not just gonna live your life in fear just because something bad might happen every single day you walk outside, right? We're not here to do that. We're not here to live in our home and just stay sheltered every single day. We're here to live extraordinarily, right? Okay, so this one concept is going to help you sort of bridge that gap so that you can stand out and be comfortable with it. And it is this: you have to live by your own rules and your own standards, okay? Now, if you're watching this video, chances are you're probably into personal development and self-help, which is great. Personal development and self-improvement have been one of the cornerstones to my success. I read my first self-help book when I was 16 years old. I'm 26 now, and over the past decade, I've learned so much about myself, and I attribute that to what I've learned from self-help and like the industry itself. However, there's got to be a moment there, and that moment happened for me a couple years ago. There has to be a moment there where you completely abandon everything you've ever learned and just start living congruently with who you really are, right? And that might even come into conflict or contention with some of the things that you have thought to be true, right? And one of my favorite books talks about this. It's called Reality Transurfing, and in one of the chapters, the author of this book talks about living by your own credo. And this is one of those concepts that most people won't get it right, but if you do, you will enjoy freedom for the rest of your life. Even when you don't feel great, even when like maybe you're having a slump, because everybody's life has these peaks and troughs, and you optimize for the peaks so that way you take advantage of when you're in a high state and a high vibration. And when you have those troughs, right, when you're at a low point, you mitigate the effect of those things. And the way you are able to do this effectively, consistently, is living by your own credo. Now, what does that mean? Well, in the book, the author talks about this as you have to live by your own standards. You have to set your own rules for your life, and you do this by abandoning everything you've learned before. Now, if you're interested in elevating your life to the highest levels possible for you, you're probably starting to think in terms of like, okay, well, how can I start to live by my own credo? Well, the first thing you'd have to understand that on some level, it will be uncomfortable for at least a period of time, okay? Because your brain has been programmed your entire life to try to fit in, stepping out and stepping above literally feels like death a lot of the time, right? It literally feels like you're making a completely terrible choice, and the natural reaction for your body and your mind is to kind of freak out a little bit. However, because you're understanding this right now and you're coming from an evolved paradigm, you will have enough foresight to persist past that uncomfortability and make your way to complete freedom. And the way you start to live by your own credo is to embrace the uncertainty of what that might look like. Okay, because again, the caveman brain literally thinks it's going to die. However, we live in a modern society where you're not going to be attacked by a tiger. There's not someone trying to stab you in the back with a spear. And we actually live in a very safe environment where, for the most part, you are going to live a very long life, right? You're probably going to live 70 or 80 years at least, unless you get like some disease or a horrific outlier accident happens to you. You're probably going to live a long life. And so in order for you to actually bridge that gap and to live by your own credo, you have to understand that you are the person that determines the rules and the standards that you are going to live by. You are a deliberate creator, and you can attract and manifest whatever it is that you want. And this is the tough part, because especially if you're into personal development and self-help, you've probably been watching the books for years, right? You've probably been, looking up Tony Robbins and all these other mentors that you've probably had into your life. Now, the reason freedom is such a desirable thing is because if you can take certain aspects of what other people talk about, but if you try to copy them and do exactly what they did, it's going to be completely incongruent with who you really are as a person, and actually get you farther away from your dream life and your perfect life for you, the life that you are meant for, okay? Now, the cool part is when you live by your own credo, you get to decide what is meant for you, right? You are the person who gets to determine what rules and standards you are going to set for your life and what the highest version of living that would actually look and feel like. Yeah, that's the cool thing. And that's the cool thing. When you start to live by your own credo, that's when you begin to attract, and you almost become like this vortex of just massive wealth and love, abundance, great friends, great experiences, right? If that's what you desire, right? Maybe you desire sadness and depression. I highly doubt it, right? Generally speaking, humans desire the good things in life. And the only reason we ever end up with bad situations is because of our programming. Now, living by your own credo is stepping out of that programming. And so you have to give yourself some time to adjust and embrace the uncertainty of what that looks like, because when you do, you'll start to understand and really begin to attract the circumstances that you want. And then you'll also find that your credo becomes truer and truer for you, and you'll even find that some of the old stuff you used to believe in that may or may not have given you the results you wanted, some of them may stick, some of them may fall away. However, you have created your own unique view and version of what's going to bring you the deepest sense of fulfillment, right? That's all that freedom is, by the way. That's why I talk about so much about freedom, and why I even named my business Freedom Mentoring, because what I really love, and I really love for myself and instilling this in other people, is to live your life completely abundant with nothing holding you back, whatever that means for you. Right? And the beautiful thing about that is there's so many different things and so many different versions of that will be really true to who you are on the inside, right? Think of life almost like a video game, right? Think of life as a video game, and by living by your own credo, it's like you got the cheat code to what's going to make this video game the most fun for you and give you the deepest sense of abundance and wealth and all those things, right? And so when you understand and really begin to feel and step into that, yes, like it's not going to feel like the best thing in the world, but you begin to grow a different relationship with that feeling of uncomfortability and uncertainty. And instead of being alarmed or panicked by it, instead of being fearful or overthinking what the consequences might be, you begin to settle down and calm down. And when you calm down, you're able to think more clearly. And when you think more clear in terms of your vision and what you're looking to create and the standards you're looking to set for your life, you'll find that these things just start to kind of like effortlessly find you, right? That's the cool part about stepping into freedom. It's that you almost like, you metaphorically drop this sword, right? You drop the sword that you've been using this whole time to fight through life, right? So you're just fighting this battle your entire life, especially if you're a man. If you're a man, we're literally taught with like the mentality of like, you have to fight for your place on this planet. You have to fucking, this life is tough, right? You got to man up and go fucking kick ass and shit. And yeah, you know what? Sometimes there are certain phases and moments of life in life where you do have to be that person. You do have to fight. You do have to embrace conflict. However, generally speaking, these things are so much more easily navigatable. These things are so much easier to deal with when you're in a calm state of mind and you're relaxed and you know how to think and act appropriately. And when you live by your own credo, when you have your own rules and standards for what you expect of yourself and what you are looking to create in your life, that's when you begin to effortlessly attract exactly what it is that you want. And the reason I love this concept so much, and the reason why it's brought me so much abundance and wealth and success into my life, is because it actually works. It's not this like super spiritual woo-woo type of concept. No, it actually works. It actually brings about what you want in a way that's effortless, or not effortless per se, but more so frictionless, because it's so in alignment with who you really are that it's like you're operating from that genius level of thought where you can think so much more clearly. You can be a better problem solver. And then you also tap into your true power. So you're able to confidently, deliberately ask and create whatever it is that you want. So hopefully that makes sense. And when you start to embody this, your whole life changes for the better, and all the people around you will directly benefit from you being at your best, right? This is one of the most selfless things that you can do. And it sounds selfish on the front end, but it really is selfless, because when you do better and when you start to attract more abundance and wealth into your life, you rise to be that alpha male in that tribal caveman society, and then everyone else around you is going to benefit from the fruits of what you've created in your life, okay? And that's a beautiful thing. It really is amazing and beautiful. And so hopefully that makes sense, and hopefully you are on that path and you are finding your way, and when you do, you'll know it. You'll begin to effortlessly attract whatever it is that you want, and it'll be an absolutely amazing, amazing feeling, and you will feel whole. You will feel love. You will feel tremendously abundant. And the cool part is this becomes increasingly easy over time. That's it for me, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Go ahead and comment them down in the comment section or message me personally. But that's it for me for now. I'll speak to you guys soon. Peace out.